So we didn't really have a lot to talk about tonight. Kelly, you kind of went live and talked about containers. Did you want to talk anything more about that?
Well,
I mean, you
yeah,
did.
I kind of did. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Hold on a minute.
Well, Mary says she's trying to log in.
Okay. Let's see if she comes on. Sorry, guys, we'll take a pause. So Jenny, congratulations on your great results. That is awesome. You must be feeling really good about those.
Right.
And just the fact that people are watching you and seeing what you're eating and noticing what's happening with you. So that's awesome. Oh, there's Nancy.
Do you want to just talk for a hot minute while I figure out what's going on over here? I'm at home by myself and there's a lot going on.
Sure.
So
we can keep talking. So as far as the containers go, I'm going to go back to kind of what Kelly talked about on her live the other day. It does feel like a lot of food, especially for those of you that are in C or D or E, which I don't think we have anybody in E, but it feels like a lot of food. And I know that there's a couple people that are saying they're gaining weight. And so I don't know honestly what to say about that. And I have posted a question in the BOD group to ask Autumn about it. Because that makes people want to back off really quickly when they start to gain weight. And
I wonder, since we're watching the sugar so much, that maybe the salt is creeping in on things. Because like, you know, fermented stuff has a lot of sodium because that's what it uses to
ferment.
So I was looking at things going, it could be sodium too.
It could be. You're very likely. And I am thinking of the one, Lori is one of them that's, it's concerning to her that she's gaining weight. She has been someone that's been consistently working out. So I'm not going to take that into consideration too much, because a lot of times if you are just starting out with your workouts, you can have that extra inflammation because your muscles are like, whoa, what are you doing to me? But in her case, this is not new for her as far as exercising goes. And she's done much harder workouts than what we're doing. So I am posting that question in the BOD group just to see. And Kelly, I don't know if you have anything to say on that. I know that Lori is concerned that she's gaining weight. And that was why the containers got brought up, was that her and there's a few others that feel like they're eating so much food, and now Lori's gaining weight and it's scaring her. So
that's part of what I was going to talk about. I mean, I know nothing, like I don't have enough information to talk on that point. So I don't know. Do you know what bracket she's in?
She's in A with me.
And is she, I mean, the first thing I always ask, like, are you following the plan? Like, yeah. Are you following the plan?
From what I understand, yes. I wish she was on so she could fill us in. But from what it sounds like, she's following it. It's just, she's having a hard time eating all the food, and now feels like, she's gaining weight. And so that's scaring her.
Okay. So what workouts is she doing?
The workouts that go with the program.
What's her history like? What's she done in the past?
She's been a solid challenger for a while. So working out isn't new for her.
Okay, that's part of my question. Is she used to like 45 minutes, 7 days a week? What she used to?
That I don't know. I don't know what Lori has most recently finished. But she's done 645. She's done, I'm pretty sure she's done 9-week control freak. So she's done a fair amount of 30 and 45-minute workouts. She's done job 1. I think that was probably the most recent one that she finished was job 1. And she has
I
been pretty,
mean-
she's pretty, not athletic, but she's pretty fit.
The first things that come to my mind, and again, I don't know all of her history, but I mean, I'm assuming she was probably in plan A before now.
Mhm.
And right now, without looking at the top of my head, what's the difference in plan A? It's like 2, is it 1 or 2? No, 2 or 3 greens. Is that the difference?
You mean more than everybody? Me?
Than what she's used to, like,
Oh,
that would be
she
one of
hasn't, she's never followed Portion Fix. So this is new. Portion Fix is new.
So what did she do in the past?
Just eating healthy.
So what's the weight gain? Like, what are we talking?
I don't know. And so
That's-
maybe
like,
I just need to dive in with her a
Yeah.
little bit more.
There are about 1,000,000 questions that I'd want to know before I started assuming, but I mean, you know as well as I do, it's the first week of a new program, especially one like this. That's one thing you could definitely be gaining because you're doing something completely different than what you did before. The second thing that I will say, and this is I feel this way too. I don't like 30-minute and under workouts. That's personal preference. But if you go from working out 45 minutes to 60 minutes and boom, you're going down to 30 minutes at a time or less. Most of them are less. And if she's right there is probably a part of the difference. Like, you got to you can't just look at, oh, think I'm eating more food and that's the problem. You have to look at all the
whole thing.
things.
Okay. I'll dig in with her a little bit and see if I can get a little more information before I ask in the bod group.
And the
'cause-
other thing, I mean, it could be bloat, because like if she's eating more vegetables and more, or the other thing is like, that's the other thing. I don't know what exactly she's eating. If we're talking about she's switched from animal protein to these protein to the bees and all, you know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna make you fluctuate too.
Yeah.
It could also be that her body doesn't like my body doesn't like the carbs as much as it likes the animal protein. I mean, everybody's different.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll go from there. Nancy, and is Renee's iPhone. Who's that?
That might be my Renee.
Oh, you're Renee. Okay. Anyways, anybody
that's vegan and she can't have soy, or she can't have soy products, and she's vegan. She's like, what do I do? So she does whole food, plant-based. So maybe she has like a soy sensitivity that she didn't know about either.
Possibly. I think she tried some tempeh the other day. So I'll dig in with her a little bit more, or she had tofu the other day, not tempeh.
And she's never done that before.
I don't know.
Okay. She might have not, fun. She might have issues with soy.
With certain things. Yeah.
Vegan,
And she's my age. So she's, that menopausal age group. So, Nancy or Renee or Mary, do you guys have any questions about anything that we can answer? We'll try to keep tonight's call kind of short. Oh, Mary, you're muted.
The only concern that I have is kind of like the same with everybody else. It's a lot of food, especially the vegetables. It's 6. For me, I'm in A as well, and it's 6 containers of vegetables. When I was doing the 21-day fix, it was only like, if I remember right, 4.
It was 4. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, it's a lot of food, and maybe it's good that I'm eating a lot more vegetables because I am definitely cleaning out. Just to put it kind of nicely. My question is the permit. Can we do either or? Like either the fermented berries or the sauerkraut. We don't have to do both
No,
as long as we
You
do
know,
it 3 times a week.
and I mean, you don't have to do any of that. She's just suggesting it. And
Okay.
so, you can try kimchi, you can try the sauerkraut, you can try the fermented blueberries. I'm actually going to try to make those this week because I'm curious. But it's kind of an extra fun thing to try to help. It's a probiotic. And so, you don't have to do any of it, but it's
Right.
just,
Extra.
it's just extra. Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna talk about a couple of things, but I gotta go grab my asparagus out of the oven really quick.
Okay. Nancy, do you have any questions about it? Or Mary, were you done?
Yeah, that's basically it.
I'm on the Zoom. The beach body.
Nancy, do you have any questions about anything?
No, not at all.
Everything's going good for you?
Pretty good.
You're not
Yeah.
overwhelmed with the
I was
contain-
I'm still a little overwhelmed with how much food. Definitely.
Okay. Does it make sense what we're saying though?
Yeah, it does. What I've started doing is in the morning, I do a cup of spinach, cup of celery, cucumbers a cup, or maybe not quite a cup. It ends up being 2 cups. Celery, cucumbers, spinach, lemon juice, and water, and carrots. And I mix it in my blender and make it like not really a smoothie. It's like a liquid almost. It's almost like you're juicing, but you're getting all the pulp. And that's how I get 2 containers of green in.
Interesting. So how is it water? You add a little bit of water to it?
I add a cup of water,
Oh, interesting.
the juice of 1 lemon, and then pretty much a cup, 2 cups of the spinach, the cucumbers, the celery, and the carrots.
So yeah, it is like juicing because she did talk about juicing, and she, she doesn't really want people juicing. So, I mean, they can have juice, but not juicing so much because you're losing all that fiber. But if you're just blending
I'm
it
not
up,
losing
you're
any
getting-
fiber.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I might even try that.
Try it. Yeah. You have to blend it quite a bit, so that.
Yeah, I have a Pampered Chef cooking blender, so it's pretty hardy.
Yeah. I have a Vitamix, so it really
Yeah.
breaks it down. So
Yeah.
that's just how I've kind of figured out how I'm going to get extra greens in, because the greens are overwhelming.
Yes.
Everything else is a piece of cake for me,
Good.
but the greens are overwhelming. The one thing I do have a problem with is remembering to take those pills.
And what I mentioned to you, and I don't know if you saw that, to set a timer on your phone.
Yeah, I thought about that.
That's what a lot of people
My husband is laughing at you because he said that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing. And, now I would have to really be cognizant of when I'm eating because I never know when I'm going to eat.
Well, see, that's my problem.
Because I'm on the road. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to eat and drive at the same time, kind of thing. But set it,
But
remembering
remembering
a
20
timer.
minutes before you're going to eat is a hard thing to do.
Exactly. So set a timer and do your best.
Okay, you got it.
It is hailing buckets here right now. This is so ridiculous.
Where are you?
It snowed this morning. Now it's hailing. I'm in Washington.
Are you Washington? Oh. We had
Washington.
95 2 days ago.
Yeah, we had 75 2 days ago. So Kelly, go ahead. You're on.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the too much food thing. So, and I don't know, and this is not just for you guys, but for anyone who's gonna watch the replay. And I want to talk about this specifically. I don't know what everyone's bracket is, but I used to be in D. I think I said that in the live. I used to be in D, and I probably would have been in E if there was an E when I started. So I get that it's too much food. But here's what I also know. Having been someone who ate like complete and total utter shit, sorry, not sorry. When you go from eating like, and I'm not saying anyone, this is anyone, but when you go from eating like complete crap or eating healthier, you think you're eating healthier, eating really the way that you should, which is this, not necessarily gut protocol, but the containers, it's clean eating. You don't like the food that you're eating now is whole, like fills you up quicker than, I always use this example. If you sat and you ate a half a bag of licorice, it would not fill, like, work with me here, it wouldn't fill you up. Like maybe some of you, but you know what, you get what I'm saying. Like you could eat a lot of licorice and it wouldn't fill you up. There's a lot of freaking calories in that, right? Compared to, let's say, a broccoli, chicken, rice, that's going to fill you up so much quicker. And it's got so many less calories. So there's that. And there's also this diet crap that everyone does and comes from, like, I know for me, I used to eat, or when I would do a diet, it would be, oh, let's go do a 500 calorie diet. Oh, let's go do 1,000 calorie diet. And so you're eating more food and it feels like more. So if you're on one of those ends of the spectrum, it definitely could feel like you're eating a lot of food. I get it because I've been there. And if you're in a higher bracket, it definitely could feel like you're eating a lot of food. But once you work at it, and this is kind of the point I was getting at in that live video, like if you have to skip containers until you get to a certain part, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like when you're first starting out, if you're in one of those big brackets, or if it feels like a lot of food, there's nothing wrong with skipping some of those containers, as long as you're not skipping out. Like I said, if you're skipping an orange, if you're skipping a blue, if you're skipping one of those containers that are, you only get one of, like, you do you, and you can do whatever you want to do, but my suggestion would never to be to skip out on one of those. And then the other thing, what was I gonna, oh, there was something good, I just lost it. Fudge. Oh, what was it? It was good and I completely lost it.
It'll come back.
It's so gone. It's like gone. Fudge. I don't remember. It's gone.
That's okay. That's okay. But I like what you said about that. If you're, let me see if I can maybe get it to come back in your brain. If you're going to skip containers, skip one that's got 6 or one that's got 4. You know, if you're having to skip something, that's what you're saying, Kelly, right? Don't skip the blue. Don't skip the orange.
Yeah. I mean, if I were going to intentionally skip, now, if let's just talk about miss, like if you're missing a container, that's completely different. And I get that. I would ask you, are you tracking? If you're missing containers, are you tracking? But if it were me, and it depends on which bracket we're talking about, I would skip one. The first thing I would skip would be one green, because you get 6 of them.
Right.
That would be the first thing. I would never, ever, ever, and this is me and you do you, but this is me telling you, to get the most out of this, I would not skip a blue. I would not skip an orange. I would, you got to take from the containers. If you're going to do that, you got to take from evenly.
Yes, I agree. And I even, when, back in the day when we did those certification, the portion fix and the 2B mindset, that was what she said in that too, was that, get all your containers in. If you miss one or two, it's not the end of the world, but don't miss those ones that you're only getting one of, because they're there for a reason. That healthy fat is there for a reason. That the orange one with the seeds, nuts, and the salad dressing, that's there for a reason. And so, and the teaspoons are there for a reason. So do the best you can to get everything in. And, like Jenny's been making, roasted up a bunch of veggies. I'll tell you, today I did 2 eggs, what I posted this morning, 2 eggs and a good handful of spinach and some leftover asparagus. And it was a huge bowl of stuff, but it was so filling. It was my breakfast this morning. And yes, it felt like a lot of food in my bowl, but it was filling. I'm satisfied, and I'll be good to go now till dinner. And so I think that's the other big thing, is that this food is going to keep you full longer, to where you're not doing this crashing. She's got our blood sugars kind of staying even throughout the day, so that you're not doing this up and down, crashing, spiking, crashing, spiking. You're at this level all day long, which makes you feel better.
I know what I was going to say. This is a huge one. If you're one of those people who are saying this is too much food, I can't eat it all, I would question, what kind of foods are you eating? Like, just as an example, lettuce is going to sit so lighter than something like broccoli. Those foods that sit heavy are going to make you feel fuller, and they're going to fill you up more easily than something that's super light. Carrot, like just broccoli. I always think of broccoli versus lettuce.
Right.
Or like, an olive oil versus coconut milk, whatever. But you have to think about that too. And that's what I always did. When I first started out, if I'm like, my gosh, I can't eat all this, then I would choose those lighter foods, that celery, whatever, that are not going to sit as heavy in your stomach.
Mm-hmm. And when we were in the smaller brackets, and
yeah,
I had the opposite thing happen, where I would eat a salad for lunch and not feel satisfied, and I would be hungry. With this program, you can do the salads because we're getting so much more veggies, but you'll be spreading it out through the day and not feeling like, a little handful of lettuce or some spinach, that's not a lot. Add some more dense fruit or vegetables to it, and then maybe it won't fill you up. But if you're having a big plate of roasted vegetables, that's going to fill you up, and it's going to feel like a lot of food.
Yep. And that you have to look too at, because that's what I do too when I'm when I'm eating an A, it's like I need those heavier foods. But the other thing you have to look at is what, and this goes for anything, not just gut protocol. When you're doing a different program and you're lifting way heavier, or it's 45 minutes to 60 minutes, what you got to look at, like everything, and you have to look at what workouts am I doing? Am I lifting heavier? And if you are, you might want to go the other way. Like you might be like, okay, I need those heavier foods. Or it might, if you have a hard time eating all that and you're doing one of those programs, it might be easier to eat that because you're working harder. Like the longer you work out, obviously, the longer you work out, the more intense, the more calories you're burning, the easier it's going to be to go through those foods.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I totally agree. And I felt that this week, because I tried kind of going heavy on one of the days. I don't remember which one, if it was the push or the pull day. And I was so hungry, but I looked back to see what I had eaten, and it was not heavier, not denser foods. And so that's why I was hungry, because I had, some granola instead of having sweet potato or, whatever of my carbs. I didn't have I had the right formulation as far as an A and a B, but it wasn't the dense that I needed.
I'm glad you said that, because the carbs, and again, whether we're talking about you're doing gut protocol or you're not, you're doing the containers, carbs are a big one. There's a big difference between a sweet potato and pasta, or a sweet potato and bread. Like in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different, yeah.
Yep. And even the sugar content and all of that with a sweet potato compared to quinoa pasta. I mean, that's completely different. So it's going to fill you up or release the glycogen that's going to give you the energy in a different way. So
maybe that's why I felt like I just had so much, because I had all roasted heavy vegetables. Had was either a potato, the little red bliss potato, or the chopped up of the sweet potato, or I had brown rice. I didn't mess with anything else. I didn't do any recipes. And it was just so much. It took me, I think on Wednesday, it took me 3 different times of sitting down to finish my lunch. Much, but I did it, but it was a lot.
Yeah. And that's where I'm kind of looking forward to salads this week, because last week it was, trying not to do the raw foods. And so it was a lot of roasted things, a lot of roasted veggies. So this week I'm just cooking up some chicken breast and making some salads and stuff with it. And I'm going to do that one salad. That's the black bean. Is it the black bean and quinoa? Without the corn. I'm going to maybe make that one up later in the week, but anyways.
My friend who's a vegan and a health coach and stuff, I sat down with her yesterday, and what she was saying, what Kelly was saying, yeah, you can eat crap and it won't fill you up because there's lots of calories, but your body, she is loving this program. Like, we were just talking about it, and she was like, your gut is your second brain, and your gut is looking for nutrients. You get that from whole foods and vegetables. Once those are filled, your gut says, okay, I'm full. But if you sat there and just ate the licorice, your body would hold on to that sugar and say, okay, I'm going to put you over here. I'm going to put your calories over here. But they're still telling you to eat because they're still looking for the nutrients that they need to survive and do their. So she was like, that is what it is. Because I'm like, I kept telling her, I was like, this is so much food. This is so much food. She goes, on Saturday when we sit down, I'm going to tell you why. And so she was like so happy that, even though she's a vegan, she's still so happy that I'm doing this, because she's like, you're feeding your body the way it needs to be fed, and you're nourishing it the way it needs to be.
My water.
Yeah.
And that's why you're getting full, and you're saying it's too much, because your body's like, okay, I've had enough now, as opposed to that cheeseburger that's just going to get stored away because your body doesn't know what to do with it.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just, you going from what you've done, with the cafeteria food and with the way you've been eating, I just have to congratulate you a lot, because I know this was a potential challenge for you, and you've done a really good job. So
I just don't go down to the cafeteria now.
that's good. And see how much time you save. You can relax. You can have your lunch. You don't have to wait in line.
It takes minutes to heat up all that food. So I chug water and I walk back and forth to the microwave. That's what I do.
What, Kelly? Oh,
Cheryl,
yes.
I just want to share something. Before I started this program, I wasn't doing anything. I went back to my old ways of eating, and I was feeling it. And for me, it was a lot of emotional eating, because I had just lost my mom, and I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. And when I was a coach before, I was so dedicated to the healthy eating. It also starts in your thinking.
Want to do a
how
hot?
healthy it can be. And if making sure your body is the healthiest it can be. So that's what I had to start remembering again. I lost myself and I started gaining the weight back. But then when I reached out to you for help, and thank you so much. And I learned about the PEP protocol. I said, you know what? I'm going to do the best I can on this program and see what happens. And just in the 1 week, I have more energy. And like you said about the sugar spiking up and down, my sugar has been great.
Awesome.
So I had to share that with you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I know this is a challenge. I not everybody knows about your disabilities, and hats off to you for doing this. Because I know it's a challenge. Cooking and everything is a challenge, but you are doing your best and not letting that be an excuse, which is
Right.
commendable.
And you know what? It's getting me in the kitchen cooking, even though sometimes I'm afraid to go to cook. I'm still doing it.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Mary. Anybody else?
Yeah, I love that so much. Like, I love that so much.
Well, I have not watched this week's video yet, but I will be doing it while
I did.
Was it good? I haven't watched.
It was really good.
Good.
So it was just telling us, that we're going to be eating raw vegetables, introducing the raw vegetables now.
Okay.
And also she's going to be talking about the stress management, which is in our PGFs.
Good.
The tips on, focusing on stress management.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I think the BOD group starts this week. So as I
Tomorrow.
start to see things, I will share stuff with you guys.
Are they saying anything about like how much to add for the raw vegetables? Since, I've literally gone a whole week with no raw vegetables. Do we want to do like maybe one meal, for what, not just go hog wild, like just like maybe one container and slowly start introducing? Do you think it'll matter? Did they say anything about that?
Did she say anything about that, Mary, since I haven't watched the video yet?
She just said slowly introduce.
Okay.
She didn't say anything about the containers. Yeah.
So I
But I
would do
remember-
that, I would still do your roasted stuff for dinner or lunch or whatever, but throw in a salad, throw in some carrot sticks and celery, whatever. But yeah, I mean, for us, that's what I'm doing. I'm still roasting up a bunch of veggies to go with our dinners, but I'm going to do salad for lunch. Just to change things up a little bit.
I think as long as you're getting your 6 container or whatever limited containers for vegetables, get those in.
I just
You hear
didn't know I just didn't know if it was gonna do anything to our GI system,
Well, it might make you a little more gassy depending on what it is that you're eating.
Yeah.
Well, I'll wait for Kelly to get back.
Cheryl, I do have one other question as far as
Mhm.
meal prepping and stuff like that. Today has been a horrible day because I go to church real early in the morning, so I don't have a whole lot of time to eat anything. And say you're going to church on a Sunday morning, would you prep on a Friday for Sunday, Saturday for Sunday?
I would prep on Saturday. If you can't get prepping done on Sunday, then I would start prepping on Saturday. You might have to do something later at the end of the week. But I would definitely, if Sundays aren't a good day for you to be prepping, then you need to be switching it to a different day.
Okay,
Whether it be Monday or Saturday or, whatever.
okay.
So,
The other thing I'll say too about like how much food, how much raw food to add in or whatever. It really depends on you. Like, and that's kind of what I wanted to say a minute ago, is like, I hope everyone is really, really paying attention to like what the different foods are doing for you and to you, because you know, we talked a minute ago about I'm gaining weight and I want to lose it. To be completely honest, this program's not, it's not a weight loss program. You will lose weight if you need to, but it's not like the other programs. It's not like a weight loss. Like the first thing about this program, I don't know how I want to say it, is not weight loss. Like that's not number one goal. Number one goal is to figure out, oh, I ate this and my body does not like this, or, oh, I ate this and holy cow, my body loves this. So I hope everybody's like really paying attention to those things. And the raw foods that's part of it, is like, when you start adding these in, are they like, you know, how's your body reacting to them? So you'll know whether you want to back off or whether you're doing too much, too soon, whatever.
Yep. Totally agree with that. And where I just saw her, I think she did a live on her Instagram or something like over the weekend. And that's exactly what she said right off the bat. She was making some matcha tea and she said, this program is not, if people are losing weight, that's awesome. She goes, but this program is not intended for that. What she was reaching out yesterday for was she wanted some skin transformations. She wanted people to start sharing those because it's happening. People are, you know, their acne's getting better. I've seen less puffiness in people's faces, wrinkles kind of going away, you know, dark circles going away, those kind of things. So anyway, she said, this is not necessarily intended to be a weight loss program. Weight loss is nice if it happens. So anything else? I don't want to keep you guys, and I got something in the oven too, Kelly. All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording.